You are a force of nature. You're fun to watch online on Facebook. You're doing card readings, and you're inspiring a lot of people. And actually, your title, we're going to call you creator.
Thank you.
For many reasons, right? And you have is it Crystal Current? Tell everybody what that is. And I think you're wearing some things from Crystal Current.
Yeah, I'm wearing some of that. Basically, around 2010, I was meditating, just figuring out all this stuff. Third eye's coming online, or was online, and I saw a gray bead and a clear bead and a gray bead and a clear bead in a circle, and I saw the electricity start to move and spin like this. It took me about 3 days to be like, oh my God, those were magnets. So I basically started playing with magnets. They're going to pull towards each other. They're going to push each other away. So they had me line them all up, pulling towards each other, keep them in the same order, separate them, put quartz crystal in there. I thought this was strictly spiritual for years. After a couple of years, I ended up in Salem, Massachusetts, because I was like, I know all my earth goddesses, because we don't use the word witch anymore. I said, I know all my earth goddesses are going to love these. And I'm in there, and I'm like telling them, I'm like, oh, the smoky quartz and the amethyst, and it spins the energy, and it all becomes one. And the guy looks at me, this big biker dude, and he's like, you don't even know what you're doing, man. And I'm like, well, thank you. And he's like, no, he's like, I'm an engineer. This is science. He's like, you're building like a wireless electrical current. This is piezoelectricity. You're amplifying and stabilizing the energy of all the crystals in this way. And like so he gives me all this literature. He's like, why do you think the watches say quartz? And he's like, the first crystal radio receiver. He has me write down all this stuff. And I go home, I'm researching all this on Wikipedia, and I'm like, wow. So, all these years later, there's been doctors and scientists that have done all these studies on what we do.
Yeah.
And, just proving that these things work, they do something. I mean, you even get one, and you read the microteslas with a microtesla reader, and they're like 4,000, 6,000 microteslas. You cut them apart, put them in a pile, it's 450 to 600 microteslas. Okay. It goes down drastically because the electrical current keeps kind of kicking itself in the butt, and it just spins faster and faster, to a degree.
So that's some of the thinking behind some of the bracelets and things you make. Is that what you're saying?
This is these devices. I mean, they'll one day be used. Yeah, we make energy tools. Like sometimes people come to me, they're like, can you take this out, take that out, put this in? I'm like, I don't make jewelry. I make energy tools.
Energy tools, okay.
Yeah, so like to make these energy tools, they have a specific function. There needs to be like a certain amount of magnets or ferromagnetic materials for them to amplify and stabilize and spin the energy and have these effects. And
so somebody comes to you maybe with a condition or something they want to overcome, and that's what you customize it for?
Yeah, that's ground. I like to tread very carefully on. It's the whole like it helps it heal. Are there things that these will completely dissolve and disintegrate and transmute? Absolutely. But I can't really technically say that, even though I just did.
Consult your doctor.
Consult your doctor.
We have to say that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, if you get an electrical current amplified with quartz crystal and put shungite in it, it's gonna purify the waters of the body. Things like tendinitis, they're gone in days. Like certain things they're just gone. And if somebody doesn't want it, we'll buy it back or whatnot. But
sure.
Like I said, consult your doctor, and we can't say that. So no, it doesn't do that. But try it. Certain things will just purify. It does certain things. And people told me when this started, they tell me, oh, you got to patent this. You got to patent this. You got to patent this. And I just it just made my stomach just nauseous. Because Spirit was showing me how these crystal jewelries were created in Atlantean times. So it's like I put a patent on it, something happens to me, I don't even, it's gone. No one else can ever make one of these again.
Sure.
So basically what's happened is we created what's called public domain, so nobody ever can patent this.
Gotcha.
So something happens to me, somebody goes and creates these. I'm not worried about it. I've had people copy my stuff I was making in 2013. I'm not threatened by that. We're always pushing the envelope, so.
That's awesome.
There's a belief structure of there's enough money on this planet for everybody.
Yes.
So I don't sit in this fear. I'm sure there's hundreds of people watching right now that have some invention that they haven't created because they're living in fear that they need to get some patent to get this thing It's not the case.
That's a good point.
If somebody starts doing what you're doing better than you, then you're not supposed to be doing it.
Excellent point. Wow.
So I want these people to, because that's what it's really about, is reminding people how powerful they are and reminding you that you create your own reality. Every thought that you're having right now is creating tomorrow. So.
And that's another subject we'll get to. but going back to what you make, I imagine you've had some people who are even skeptics of what you do.
Absolutely.
Wear it and then tell me about that.
Oh, so I have testimonials. Some of them are on the website, and one of them, this woman's like this, and she's like, this is way back in Rhode Island because I had to make it out to Sedona. You didn't just show up in Sedona. And she's like this, and she's like, I'm an engineer, and you can't say this, and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I can say this. I was like, because if you're not happy with it, I'll buy it back from you. So why can't I say it? So she buys it, and she's got, of course, the shungite with the clear quartz and all the stuff, like old stuff. Like 3 days later, she's sending me a testimonial. She's like, my wrists, I can move my wrists again. She's like, I heard you say tendonitis, this and that. And then literally a week after that, she's like, you need to explain to me what's going on. She's like, both my wrists and both my knees, I can like just fluidly move them again.
Right.
She's like, I'd cry every day, like going to snap the bra on the back. She's like, my wrists are better. She's like, can you tell me what happened here? And I was like, of course, I'll tell you just like I told you at the table. So,
These are the properties these crystals have.
Shungite will purify water. This has been like, there's 3 scientists won Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize for some sort of science for proving what shungite does. And there's a book this thick written on shungite alone. You can't write a book that thick on amethyst.
Right.
And that's like, everybody knows amethyst. Shungite, it's the whole periodic table of elements, like purifies water. It's been carried by the Russian military for hundreds and hundreds of years. That water is the, what do they call it, the fountain of youth.
Right.
Because they'd go in this water and they'd be like, I feel better. I look younger. This is going on. What the heck's happening? And they'd try to bottle it up and bring it to the king, and it wouldn't do anything because it'll slowly deteriorate those properties. So it has to be touching, specifically unpolished. That's one of the issues I'm having is more and more every day that's going by, it's getting more and more difficult to find the true unpolished shungite. Like you go walk around here, everything's polished now.
Right. True.
And back in the day, it was only unpolished. It has to. That's like a doctor saying, here, put this ointment on the skin to heal the skin, and before you do that, you slather on cocoa butter. Like you're putting a buffer between the stone and where it's supposed to get. That black powder, and that gets you dirty, that's what you want that.
That rawness
that's
is
the
pure.
C60, that's the Fullerene, that's that.
The
Everything
carbon-60.
around us is the wood of this and this crystal and this thing and the tripod. Everything's got all hexagons in the molecule or all pentagons in the molecule. This C60 is the only thing, it's a soccer ball. It's got hexagons and pentagons touching.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they named it the Fullerene, because Buckminster Fuller, he was all into this shape, and that's why it's called the Fullerene. So that's an uncrushable shape. It's the strongest shape. Science doesn't understand. When science doesn't understand something, they don't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
So I don't know, what is it, the center of a sun or a star, or like, I don't know what that is.
Talking to you, I feel like you should have your own show.
I do.
Well, that's right.
So it's going to be airing on Amazon Prime very soon. It's going to be called, it is called Origins with Alexander. So, the goal with this show is interviewing the people, getting their awakening stories out there. So when other people are going through these ascension symptoms, they can say, to normalize it and humanize it for everybody and just share these stories of these miracles that we all have gone through to get to this point.
Okay, that's going to be on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yep,
And
in a few weeks.
And people want to find you, your website is?
Oh, so Crystal Current is, crystalcurrent.com is for the energy jewelry I was talking about.
Okay.
And Sedona Cosmic Awakening, we do put this event on every year.
This is in April. What's happening? Why should everybody go to Sedona in April?
Well, first off, so our brick and mortar shop, All Things Magic, with a CK at the end, All Things Magic is opening where 89A and 179 meet.
Okay.
So that's going to be happening.
By the
grand
Red Rocks,
opening is
I
going to
believe.
be, by the Red Rocks, yep. But yeah, at the Creative Life Center, we put this just awesome event on. It's all family. It's so high vibe.
Yeah.
We've had Corey Good and David Wilcock, and we're so happy to have Randy Kramer this year. And it's home. It's just it's just a high vibe event that everybody comes out to, and we got awesome guest speakers. Some of them are in this building right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to you, see if Expansion Network can maybe make a show. And,
yeah,
see what
absolutely.
that
I'd
can
love
happen.
that. You guys are great.
So you said something, I know we're doing this kind of briefly, but you talked about people knowing their own personal power.
Yep.
What is your take on that? What should people know about themselves? Because you started to get, it was very elegant what you said.
I could feel everything in my stomach, and then it started to be every cell in my body. Every time somebody said something when I was like a kid, I'd feel, I knew they were creating this for themselves. Like this person say, oh, I have a curse with water, or this thing with cars, and like I would like tell them, I'd be like, well, why don't you stop saying that? And like then maybe it'll go away. And then sure enough, some of these things, I'd see these like miracles happen. Miracles, quote unquote. I mean, it's like every thought we have and every like, you know, these repeating patterns, they're like boomerangs. So people are throwing this out, and like the way the universe works is almost like a computer or like a little kid, and then the universe is like, did I do a good job, Mom or Dad? I brought you this thing that you kept thinking about. So it's like we just got to think about positive stuff. Like Spirit told me like back in like 2014 now, stubbornly optimistic. Whenever any challenge comes up, we got to look at it like, all right, this looks like a challenge, but something good will come from this. And then something good comes from it.
Yep.
And I've been using this and putting this into practice for years now. It's like, well, I'm getting thrown out of my house for some reason. And then sure enough, I just stay positive and the person comes back and it's fine, or I end up getting a better house, or this other thing opens up.
Right.
We have to remember, like, you know, if you're sitting there thinking you hate your job or something, the universe is going to be like, am I doing a good job? And take the job away. But if the job goes away, then you need to know and feel and believe a better job is coming.
Right.
And that's why that was taken away. And this stuff happens. And these curses that people hold on themselves and these repeating patterns, they don't have to do it.
And the power lies in knowing that something better is always coming, always for our highest and best good.
Yes. Belief. Your beliefs will be your life. That's something they've had me saying. And it's like, you know, if something's going on, because some people will say, well, what is this kook saying now? But this is how it is, and this is this way. All right, well then if it is that way right now, then say that it's in the state of transmutation. Say that it's in the state of dissolving. Say that these things are shifting. Or say there's like a little bit of magic going on here, and like, you know, something's changing. You can always fine tune and find a belief structure that you believe in. And people say, well, why don't you just manifest? You open up your front door and there's a briefcase with $1 million sitting in it. I could, if I believed that was possible. I could absolutely open up my door and there's a brief, but I don't believe it's possible. As I get more and more powerful in my belief structure, we can do all this stuff. I've told people, I've had people, sometimes like I have a friend and I'm just like, wow, this guy's like born on the 7th, his numbers add up to a 7, he's so intuitive, but he's like stuck in his head. And I tell him, if you give me the opportunity, I'll manifest $20 bills blowing to me in the wind. Because I believe that's possible. I'm walking with one of my friends, it's August 21st, my birthday is the 22nd of August. One's here, one's here. I was always trying to wake these two kids up before I left Rhode Island. And here's a $20 bill rolling, and he, because he'd be like, he keeps finding 20s. I find 2 20s, I find a 20, but every time we went out, he's like, he found more 20s, because Spirit wants to wake this kid up.
Right.
So here comes the 20, I step on it, I pick it up, first 3 numbers in the code, 822. So my birthday, on 8/21, they're taking me to the beach for my birthday, I go, and this guy's a really smart kid. I won't say his job set, because then everybody's going to know who I'm talking about back home. And I show it to him, I go, so what do you think the mathematical odds are of on my birthday, I'm behind you guys, and a $20 bill comes in, the first exact 3 numbers on my birthday, I get this $20 bill blown to me in the wind when I told you $20 bills would blow to me in the wind. And he's just like, I hate when you say this to me, because they don't know what to say. But it's like, if we believe it, it will come. And we're constantly, like I said, we're constantly creating our tomorrow right now, right here, what we're doing, what we're thinking. These fears, none of this stuff is real. None of this stuff is real. Energies will project in and things will happen from time to time. You just breathe through it. Like I'm lucky enough to be like with a specific chart that I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. So it was easier for me to figure this stuff out, but I've seen other people do it and I know it's possible for anybody. You just have to look at that the heart's beating, oh, I'm holding my breath, and just get through it. And like I said, that's what I mean by remind you how powerful you are. Just remember how powerful you are. And just like, this is some singular dimensional energy. I'm a multi-dimensional being of awesomeness. Like just get that out of here, clear the field, like whatever you got to do, and just go back to being positive at every single moment, just being positive, and more positive things will happen.
Awesome. I recommend following him on Facebook because it's so fun to see when he's pulling people in for readings and whatnot.
Yeah.
But can people get coaching one-on-one from you?
Absolutely, yeah. That's my site. It's like a bunch of plugs. You know, they put too many plugs in it, you get sparks, but it's okay.
I'm doing it. It's
no,
up to me.
Thank you.
I'm holding space for it.
Galactic Tarot. So G-A-L.
Galactic Tarot.
Galactic Tarot, T-A-R-O-T. I meant to spell the second word, so I'm going to stop myself.
Okay.
Just, there's multiple ways to spell tarot. So yeah, galactictarot.com. I have my my tarot sessions and all sorts of stuff there as well, just to separate them so they can schedule them. But yeah, no, I've been doing years now these free readings online, and just to show people,
give back
just to remind people. Yeah, give back, exactly. I'm so grateful for the reality that Spirit has brought me. I want more people to remember, because they knew and they know now.
Excellent. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Scott.
This is great. All right. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you, guys.